Welcome to Clever Orbits, a wonderful, fun, playful, enjoyable Star Trek podcast started by yours truly, Louis Brandmeier, and my PhD in linguistics friend of many years,
Richard Futrell.
And then my dearly beloved, amazing actor brother,
Tyler Brandmeier.
Accompanied by our special guest star, mighty and amazing healer of back injuries and pain,
Stefanie Jemison.
He is one for whom you might actually use the phrase "choose your pain" if you're getting your back healed. So, basically, this episode showcased. I'm just going to read the memory alpha because that keeps me from having to think too hard too quickly. While on a mission, Captain Lorca unexpectedly finds himself in the company of prisoner of war Starfleet Lieutenant Ash Tyler and notorious intergalactic criminal Harry Mudd. Burnham voices her concerns about the repercussions of the spore drive jumps on quote-unquote Ripper. Now that assumes a lot. It leaves out a lot, but we'll talk about everything that it leaves out. Really, I've decided we probably shouldn't ever read a summary from Memory Alpha again because that was really terrible. However, I'll start us off with one of my favorite parts of the episode. Okay, so my two favorite parts of the episode. One, the fact that there was no promo for the next one. I am in complete suspense, ignorance, and blissful unconsciousness around what's going to happen next week. So that's really great.
There is a promo. Some people on the internet said they saw it, but I don't know how to see it.
Oh, well.
And we should probably avoid seeing how.
I don't really want to see it.
That mystery at the end. Yeah.
Richard said there was a outline floating around of the remainder of the episodes. Yeah, I'm avoiding that too. But so this whole episode, just to give it like a great kind of gloss, is this episode is pretty much all there is to love and adore and appreciate about Star Trek. Action, adventure, scientific curiosity and wonder, subtlety, nuance, the intricacy of a heartfelt and intellectually shrewd, clever, intelligent engagement with life and choices and hard science and deep philosophy. I mean, there were just so many moments when I was like, something would happen and I'd be like, yes, that's Star Trek. You know, for example, we have the show's not afraid of hard science. They drop terms like cryptobiosis and horizontal gene transfer done well enough so that the viewer gets what they're talking about without having to really go look it up. I mean, this is a show you could show in high school biology class. I mean, you could show it in a multidisciplinary science philosophy class. That's Star Trek. And then, you know, Catherine Trendacosta on IO9, who's one of my favorite reviewers of Star Trek. She gets really grumpy and snarky and sometimes quite mean about the show, but she made a big deal of Lorca having no soul and leaving Mudd. She was like, you know, that's not what Kirk would do. Kirk would have taken him with them. And you know, for me,
fuck that guy.
It was tactically sound and it was aligned with his character. It was a hard choice, but it was probably the best one. He is ensuring that a spy and a traitor doesn't come with them. That's Star Trek. That's like Cisco from DS9.
You think Ash Tyler is trustworthy?
Possibly. There's that whole theory that he's actually that Klingon, right? Have you guys looked into that?
I've seen that. I think it's pretty likely. Or he's certainly a spy. They're emphasizing his weird relationship with L'Rell.
Yeah.
And
I think that it's going to be like Homeland kind of situation where I think that he's gonna probably get it nice and cozy with Sylvia because, you know, she's probably the most desperate of all of them. And he's going to get all nice and cozy and try to get that, you know, that bigger Klingon scheme into play. I think that it's all orchestrated very well. That's my theory.
Yeah, I mean, there's some evidence, right, to suggest, because, like, L'Rell was the name of the Captain Klingon woman, and she was in the last episode, and she was kind of subtly, suggestively hinting at, like, sexual desire with Vok, who, the other guy, and we may well assume...
Like Vok's like the white chocolate Klingon?
Yeah, that's my favorite title for him now. Yeah. So she was like, they were going to get together, and so following the chain of logic, if they were screwing, or whatever. Actually, fucking is a word that we should discuss about this episode.
Yeah, you can say fuck in Star Trek now, so it's all good.
I mean, you could say shit. You could say bollocks. You could say bullshit. This is the first time this particular curse word has showed up. Yeah, I liked how it played, actually. I kind of forgot that you can't use it in normal, like that it has some kind of tonality, some kind of like weight to it, right?
It felt kind of weird to me that the word, it's 2250 something. What year exactly? It's 10 years before the original series, but it's about 250 years or 50 years after when it was considered to be a bad word, be said in public, among humans. Like, would it retain the same meaning 240 years later? Of course, they would know it. They would know from studying history. Yeah, that's one of the bad words. But the fact that they're using it so casually and then catching themselves knowing that it's a bad word, quote unquote, it seemed a little odd to me. But I do love why it was used, because they were making a huge discovery together.
This episode we actually started to get some discovering.
I thought it was kind of out of place because it seemed like a modern kind of, that's just so fucking cool. Like it's like an explanation that just, I don't know. I didn't feel like it fit very well. I didn't.
Yeah, suspension of disbelief.
Let me ask you something. Stephanie, I think I hear in your voice, it sounds like you don't like Tilly.
Actually, I love Tilly.
Really? Does she represent the redhead species very well?
Well, I mean, she's a frizzy-haired, socially awkward, just individual, and I really love her. And little known fact, one of my alter egos is also called Sylvia. So it works out for me. I love her. I think she's great.
Oh my God! Congratulations, you're on Star Trek.
Quite unofficially, yes. I actually really like her character a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
if that's what you're asking. I love her. I just think that if you take the big history of Star Trek, NBC, kind of nice, wholesome, family, fun fare where you learn a little bit about science and philosophy and good storytelling. I don't know if I would feel comfortable with like me watching Star Trek with my dad, on a Sunday morning. I don't think he would want me to hear the F word in the middle of something like that. It just felt out of place. It felt like they were kind of making it Grady for really no reason.
I also found it superfluous. Like, they were doing it because it would be edgy and it would be cool and people would talk about it online and it would generate buzz. And it wasn't really necessary in that conversation.
We are. I mean,
the fact that they're on a streaming site, that they can really just get away with a lot of stuff because it's behind a paywall. And of course, there's the MPAA rating. So, I don't know. I agree. It seemed out of place. It reminded me for a second, it's 2017. People jive with that kind of talk. So
Jive with that talk. Well, I also think it was funny that they were comfortable saying fuck, but not uncomfortable showing two homosexual people having any physical contact whatsoever. So they put that out there.
Yes. They're at the end.
Or some kind of like tap or something. But, brushing your teeth is intimate, I guess.
It's intimate in a very domestic sort of way. There was a lot implied by that scene. I mean, like, they've been together for a while. They moved in together. I love those Starfleet, what do you call them? Nightwear. I really want Starfleet pajamas. As much as I want the black shirt that Cumberbatch wears through most of Star Trek Into Darkness. Like, those are two just like day-wear Star Trek clothes for me.
That one.
I just didn't know that there were pajama onesies available that were matching. That is pretty awesome. It must have been like an anniversary gift or something.
They're uniforms. Of course they're going to match.
I imagine they're onesies. I was surprised they're still using toothbrushes in the future. Like, haven't they figured out some kind of coating you can put on your teeth so you don't have to do that anymore?
They have sonic showers, right? They must have like sonic toothbrushes.
Yeah, space toothbrushes.
Space. Let's keep suspending our disbelief long enough to believe that, we're still brushing our teeth 23rd century. I feel like did they ever show anything of the sort in TNG as far as oral hygiene goes? Does anyone remember?
I don't think that. No. They had a thing about toilets back then, or bathrooms in general. Like you couldn't really even show a bathroom. It was very, very risque.
Oh yeah, FCC. You couldn't really even refer to it all that much. It's sort of loosened, pardon the pun, a little bit.
We are not going to pardon that pun.
I get it. I'll go to that prison where you send people for
Okay,
podcasts.
so speaking of the Klingons, I love the whole idea. Like, this is exactly what Discovery so far is best at, is finding a new wrinkle in things we thought we knew. This is something really cool, totally aligned with how we know Klingons to be from this era and other eras. Like, kind of cruel, kind of warrior-like, this whole choose your pain thing. I mean, and it also aligns with them being, like, really intelligent. Like, they're not just merciless, brainless brutes. They are kind of cultivated and refined at the same time. So I liked that. I liked that a lot.
Well, I like that they say the choose your pain concept is meant to prevent the prisoners from bonding. That's very clever. It's good. Yeah. It's good psychological warfare.
Yeah.
And also, like, thematically works really well because the tardigrade, right, can't actually choose. And that's the bleeding heart of this episode is empathy, is Burnham feeling the creature's pain and noticing the suffering of another being and wanting to help. Just like Lorca sees Ash Tyler's pain, just like in clear contrast, Harry Mudd cares about no one's pain. Like it's about, and it isn't just about choosing your pain, like being able to choose or not choose. It's like choosing to empathize or not. Saru, like, has this very rational, detached attitude to the sentience of the creature, so he doesn't choose the pain and Burnham does, and even Stamets feels, and then Stamets at the end chooses his pain too.
Wait, Lewis, slow down a little. So yeah, I know you're on a roll. It's good. Now I now that you brought up what is the fish guy's name again? What is his name?
Saru. Okay, sure. So Saru, I thought he didn't really. I didn't think he really even cared about the pain about this creature. I think he was just trying to prove himself as like a brave captain who was willing to prove that he can hurt people if need be and show all this thing. So I don't even think it. I think he actually kind of wanted to prove that he was willing to do that, and he used the creature as kind of an excuse to demonstrate it.
Yeah, he registers everyone's concerns, but he realizes, look, we got a captain to rescue. I can't really budge on this. There's 134 people on this ship. I need to make sure they're all safe when all's said and done. So he does feel a twinge of regret knowing that he may be harming a sentient organism, but that's command for you.
I think he was actually committed. So I'm not accusing him of being bad. I'm just noting the theme as it plays out in various intricacies of the episode. Like, Saru shows up, like, really shows up. This is the first episode where I actually respected him. Not only is he self-aware enough to try to figure out his own, like, what's missing. He's got self-awareness. He's committed to developing himself. And also, as a coach, it was really funny and interesting to, like, see the potential in, like, coaching via artificial intelligence, like asking the computer, all right, so what should I do here? Can you give me some input on how I am that will enable me to up my performance? Like that was really cool. That was really interesting. And then his choices were beautiful. And then his self-acceptance at the end was awesome. His moment of just like, I know what I did and I know that I did well. And then the way that he, approaches Burnham and like, there's forgiveness and reconciliation and understanding between them. And then he gets the reward of the telescope, basically. I mean, that's Star Trek. Him being affirmed and like Burnham ultimately supporting him and recreating him. Like she wasn't trying to anthropologize him. She was just trying to let him know, hey, I understand you. I get you. I care about where you're coming from. And so like this generosity of spirit, this willingness to take on someone else's perspective, this willingness to grow and develop and become better than you are, that is the core of what Star Trek is. It may be in the rough wrapping of what's useful to sell it on the modern stage of all access television, but it's really beautiful in my estimation.
Not really all access. You got to pay for it.
Yeah. What was it Richard said? What did you notice, Richard?
Did you notice that in that conversation where they're talking about how the tardigrade has access to the mycelial network? They say it has an all-access pass. Do you think that's the writers doing a little bit of product placement? And then after that, they say, that's so fucking cool. It's a little subliminal marketing there. Plus, you can...
You're right. It is fucking cool.
But it made me think, what if it turns out the real plot of Star Trek Discovery is what it turns out they're discovering is that there's just thousands of hours of streaming content available on CBS All Access? Like, what if it turns out they just turn to the camera and say, and you can have an All Access pass too?
Discover our catalog.
The biggest troll in like media franchise history. It would be incredible.
Oh, that would be marvelous.
You know, there's never been product placement on Star Trek before, and this is the closest Star Trek has ever come. So, I mean, like, that would be a very Philip K. Dick style turning Star Trek on its head. I mean...
Maybe the mycelial network is CBS.
Yep. CBS is the magic space fungus.
I have been waiting for them to be some kind of product placement. Like there's going to be, like when they bring up one of the holograms, it's going to be like a little apple in the corner. You know, they're using Safari to take up looking at things like that. It's only a matter of time.
I really can't figure out what OS they're using. I mean, like...
Windows.
The Windows code.
Windows
10. Yeah, there.
Stephanie, apparently the code that Stamets had Burnham work on a couple episodes ago, it was Windows code.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I don't care.
Yeah. Let's see. I liked, for some reason, they talk about souls a lot in this episode. Did anybody else notice that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the term based on any personal beliefs, more of a sort of a militaristic reference, like 134 souls on board this ship, like sort of.
It's definitely religious. Like Harry Mudd says, we don't have any souls anymore. Basically,
that's right. He's musing. Yeah.
Everyone is, spiritual but not religious. So we'll talk about
because that's hip these days. That's what sells. Yeah. I know because I do it. I don't do it because it sells. I know that it sells because I also happen to sell it. Yeah. Okay.
It sells itself into your own brain.
Yeah. Well, it also works. So literally what they were quoting at the end was Psalm 121. It was a reinterpretation of it. Like instead of may God bless the coming and going of this person, it's like may the sun and the moon. So like this kind of animism to the universe, which I thought was, kind of cool.
Well, I was wondering about that myself. Like, why did they? So this tardigrade is essentially like a raisin, and then they feed it a little spore, and then they just shoot it up into space. How did they know that it was going to be able to survive out in the vacuum of space? I mean, really, they found it on a ship. So I found that like a very weird turn of events. Like, just maybe give it a second to recover a little bit. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of out there.
Yeah, it would have made sense more for them to like let the spores loose and let it hang out with the spores for a little bit. But then maybe getting out into space and feeling freedom was part of what like killed it. I mean, it didn't seem to come back to life or to de-raisinize until it was out in space. And then it was really cool. It was like a Pokemon or something from Dragon Ball Z.
Just sit out there and evolve and just, shoot off somewhere. I don't know. I liked it. I like that little thing. It was cute. I think they should have been like a mascot for the ship or something.
Real tardigrades can survive.
Ooh, it shares characteristics with actual tardigrades. Well, it looks that way. It looks like one. So perhaps, maybe. Good catch. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea whether or not they actually knew. The audience certainly didn't know whether it could survive in space, I don't think.
It's good to know Michael Burnham's idea of empathy is, if you're in trouble, she'll tell you a prayer and then blast you into space.
This is war.
Yeah, we got the ginger doing the job for him now, so you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Honestly speaking, Burnham is really deeply compassionate and intelligent. I mean, like, I really respect her. She's like Spock after Star Trek VI, except more heartfelt. I mean, like, she's integrated Vulcan and human. And yeah, she's still human and it comes over the edges and she makes mistakes. But that's like supposed to tell the viewer, you can be Captain Kirk too, because you are human and you make errors and she did. So like, here's the path of like her continuing to make choices that has her be a contribution to her community and like makes a difference and even saves the day. Like, you can be that too, is the message, the subtext. At least that's what they're.
I don't know. I don't really want to be Captain Kirk or Byrne. I think I want to be Wesley. Not joking. That was a joke. I don't really.
Okay, so I like the Klingon weapons. I like that they have not one but 3 knives on their rifles.
They better. They need more.
I still think that they let them go. I think it's like a Star Wars situation where it was just too easy for them to escape, and I think it was all a farce just to get that little guy on the ship.
Oh, I mean, like, that captain woman's face got burned pretty bad, so...
She could have been killed, and she wasn't. I wonder why. Who was right next to her when that happened? Maybe he pushed her out of the way a little.
You didn't see that.
Right. And did the captain shoot her, or was it the guy? What is that guy's name? Did y'all get his name?
Ash Tyler. That's the spy.
Tyler.
Ash Tyler.
Tyler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How does our resident Tyler feel about his namesake?
I hear Lieutenant Tyler. My girlfriend looks over and she's like, turn up. And I'm like, yeah, that looks like me. I don't like that at all. Anyway.
You would have done a better job, Tyler.
Tyler and I are going to be on.
No, if he's it's pretty damn good.
I will say that actor was pretty good. You know, there was some good moments when, you know, his eyes changed when Mudd was telling him a little bit about the captain's history and how he got all those people killed. You know, and you could see this kind of look of adoration go to just nothing after a moment. It was a good moment. He was a good guy. Good job, guy.
Yeah, I like that.
It's hard to believe that he wouldn't already know the story.
Well, he claims to have been in a prison for the entire war.
Yeah, 7 months.
7 months. Perhaps that explains it.
I do like that comment where he's like, "Oh, so you were captured at the Battle of the Binaries," and he's like, "You guys gave it a name?" Like, it was just kind of a really little moment. Oh, and then Harry Mudd. I like Harry Mudd's clothes. I like that actor. I like the possibility that he did actually have a respectable business and that his turn to Karn artistry was because of Starfleet's war with the Klingons. I like it even better if he's just a con man and made that up and it sounds good. I like that he is the most engaging, articulate, philosophical counterpoint to Starfleet in this episode. Like, he actually suggests, is it always right to just go out and discover stuff? Is it always right to go out and, you know, do whatever you do without worrying about the potential consequence of, as he says, bumping up against someone who doesn't want you in their front yard? So, I mean, yeah, I don't know why. I never thought I'd be arguing for Harry Mudd, but I can't wait to see him again. IMDb, which is a terrible page to go to because you find out exactly how many episodes each actor is in this season. And Vok has only been in 3. I don't think we're going to see him again. But we do know that the actor who plays Harry Mudd will be back, according to IMDb, which is why I'm not looking at IMDb anymore. So,
and neither will I, but I, for one, am glad to love Rainn Wilson's performance. This one's a little more. This Harry's a little more cynical, and he's a little more, And I like both ideas, that he could have had a legitimate business or is trying to spin another story. But Rainn Wilson's way, I love him.
Mudd was fun. I found this episode pretty fun. This is the first episode where since maybe the 2 pilots, where I really found it fun. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I think this might be my favorite so far, actually.
You liked the brutal torture scenes.
They weren't really that brutal.
Face violence, as you say.
They just, forced the guy's eyes open and showed some light. It's like...
Oh, no!
It's nice that they set it up.
Ash Tyler.
What about that other
he gets his head bashed in.
Yeah, that guy got his head bashed in. You couldn't really see it.
Was that Tyler?
It wasn't Tyler. I think that person got killed. And Tyler was totally unscathed.
No, that was Tyler.
There's no way that unforced trauma didn't cave his...
Tyler has not a mark on him.
You think it was too...
Yeah, that definitely crushed his coconut. He's done.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was the same guy. I don't know why exactly, but okay.
I thought so too, at first.
Poor Copper.
I did find that the mud he had a lot of humor that brought up to it. I really love the name of his bug. Like when his bug got smushed across the room, he was like, Stewart! That's just a great name for a bug. Just gotta admit.
Yeah, Stewart, my little spy. Oh,
my little bunny.
Oh God!
I was wondering that thing.
How many legs did it have? Oh, it was creepy.
It looked like a fake spider. It looked like a like robotic android spider. I didn't think it was real. Like, I mean, I thought it was real, but like an android kind of thing, you know?
Is that like the start of his android skills until he finally develops a sex robot?
Oh, I'm sure they exist, and he probably has 4.
Does actually in the original series when he appears, he recreates all these beautiful robots just to play with on this planet. I think I don't remember the name of the episode, but it was like late season 2 or something. It was one of the 2 episodes he appeared in. The first one, he had all these women who he like gave crystals to in order to appear really like beautiful and stuff. And then in the second one, he had a planet full of androids who looked exactly the way that he wanted and served his every whim until Kirk and crew get captured and kind of like force him to live forever with Stella, who's actually really profound and ugly, we find out.
No, remember it was his ex-wife that he created just so he could kind of torture her a little bit and just scream at, and she wouldn't say anything back. And then at the end of the episode, Kirk just sentences him to be with this robot that's his ex-wife that he worked so hard to escape from. It's pretty swell.
It's a great way to end the career of Harry Mudd, considering it began so ignobly.
Wow, Kirk is more than I thought. Actually, yeah, he's pretty bad.
So speaking of like relationships, only like barely. There's no segue here. I love the Doctor and Stamets. I love that the Doctor isn't the chief medical officer. Anybody else catch that? He said, "I've got to go help the CMO."
Yep, we're all following the supporting players.
Yeah, I mean that was cool. I think the Doctor. I mean, he's kind of just there. I don't even really know his name, but I like him so far.
Dr. Cool.
Colbert.
His name is Colbert? Is that it? Really?
C-O-L-B-E-R.
Oh, that's less exciting than having a T on the end for some reason to me. Oh, who else was reminded of Spock saving the Enterprise by the way that Stamets basically offered his life at the end?
What?
In Star Trek II, Spock goes into a small chamber in engineering, does something like really risky, ends up, nearly dying, and saves the ship. Their transportation starts working, and they're able to get out of the danger zone. Same here. Stamets did basically the same thing.
Oh, that's the ginger guy's name. Good to know.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Stamets, yes. I don't think that's the end of it. I think he's going to suffer a fate worse than death. If that
let's talk about that last scene, right? I only understood that last scene was something to be creeped out by when I saw it a second time. Like, I think he is... Anybody remember Threshold from Voyager? Paris is like, I occupied all space and time. Well, I think Stamets actually is like that, and I think he's going to go the way of Gary from Where No Man Has Gone Before. I think he's going to go like superpowered, and they're going to have to like put the reins on him, and or maybe he'll just be the resident like mystic who knows everything.
I think he's just going to start living in the spore place, and he's going to totally ignore his husband, and then he's probably going to turn into he's probably just going to ascend into energy, just like that other Ked chick from Voyager.
Or maybe he'll just keep on being creepy in various scenes, like with mirrors, but he won't actually do anything creepy, and it'll remain unexplained.
Leave it to Richard to give you the most hilarious possible outcome of any situation.
But Star Trek's all about explaining.
That's true.
Yeah, Star Trek really wants to explain everything that happens. The will to make sense of things is what makes it distinct as a mythological... the will to make scientific and philosophical sense of everything. That's what sets Star Trek apart from other mythological things, like Greek or Roman or Norse mythology.
So what do you all think is going to be happening in the future?
Orko will be grumpy.
Lieutenant Tyler will be a spy. Colbert may not change very much. Saru is probably going to become a better commander, a better number one.
Orca's going to
If
die.
this shows any indication, Burnham's going to be redeemed, definitely. It's just a question of how.
And when?
Also, the tardigrade's going to come back and pet it.
Pets.
Was it listed on IMDb as showing up in future episodes?
Richard, entirely CGI.
Oh.
Yes, I don't know.
Richard, I'm looking it up now.
I think Sylvia's going to let her hair down next time. Just go wild. She has, but she's going to do it, and she's going to be proud of it.
Yeah, I really want to see her with her hair down. She is really cute.
Wouldn't that be a hazard on mission?
There's a thought I have sometimes.
Klingon could pull that shit.
This thought, is I like to think that it's kind of humanitarian. It's a humane thought, but it's not like coming from like being a superior jerk who thinks that he's better than or like knows what people have the right to. But I have this thought about certain women sometimes. I think, God, I hope someone is fucking you, and like because it not because I don't think they are getting fucked, but because like. I really want them to be fucked. I'm just definitely not into them and not going to be the one to do it myself. And Tilly is like that. Like, God, I really hope she finds romance and love and like mad, passionate sex.
Okay.
It would be
I got
cute.
the vibe that she was kind of into the ginger guy, Sarko, or whatever his name is.
Sauerkraut. Stamets.
Stamets? It's a terrible name. It's just ginger guy now. I'm not going to unlearn it.
Guy. Oh yeah. So
call.
Early on in the episode, there were all these admirals, and they were nameless admirals, except for the Black Vulcan, who I decided is not Tuvok. That's his name. If ever we see him again, not Tuvok. Not Tuvok, and then the dark-haired woman, the dark-haired woman is not Janeway. Yeah.
Did you all notice that meeting was useless? And like all meetings really are useless. Like the meeting between all the admirals, they're all talking about, you can't ruin the spore drive. This is so valuable. You can't go into war doing this. And
bureaucracy at its finest.
But then in turn, nobody really knows what happens at that meeting, and Lorca gets kidnapped, and the new acting captain's like, oh, of course, we got to go into enemy territory and risk everything to get this guy. So they go to try to save the captain that has all these secrets, but then they risk the actual thing that they're trying to keep secret. It just
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, which one's more important?
So here's something kind of random, fun, and cool. Jefferson, Iowa, where they talk about like the classified facility. It exists, and it's a like podunk town filled with about 4,500 people in the middle of Iowa. There's a new highway that they recently created. It's been around since 1855. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. I just think it's kind of silly that they chose that city.
What's the city again?
Jefferson, Iowa.
Okay.
I also think that the evolution of Stamets is going to be why they don't use the drive again in the future. Like he has gained a superpower which sets him apart, which will make him go insane probably, or like turn into some kind of anti-human of some grade. And then like only that would make the drive and human symbiosis with it dangerous enough to where Starfleet's just going to prevent it in the future. I mean, otherwise like people would be lining up, scientists.
Well, yeah, we always knew that this wasn't going to fly. At some point in the future, this is a band entirely and never mentioned again. So something has to go horribly wrong. I was going to Stamets, poor guy.
Oh, I like Stamets. Actually, the moment I saw him on the floor, I went from like in 15 seconds flat, I went from thinking he was a jerk and an asshole and like I really don't like him or care about him to like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't die. I love him. Look at his sacrifice. That was so cool. Oh, anyway.
Death, such a...
Do you think that he interfaced with the machine through nipple clamps, just like the tardigrade?
We didn't know it was that suggestive. Huh.
No, that probably would fit. We might
have been in some pain in that dream.
Some people pay for that kind of action.
Maybe the tardigrade will come back
and choose its pain.
Tardigrade and Stamets will talk. Okay, never mind. That'd be the most anti comment I've ever made. What else do I have about this episode? So that scene, which was clearly exposition scene, was I think playing to everybody who tuned in because the only Star Trek they've seen is Kelvin Timeline Trek, and they really need a refresher in order to get back to understand like what's this like mushroom stuff. I mean, I already know it's called Stella Via Torres, Praxiteles. I don't need to know that again. I memorized it last time you said it. I'm a good Star Trek fan.
It's a hallmark of good writing to repeat things a few times for, different segments of the audience.
Okay.
One thing they do in Next Generation a lot is, like, Geordi will say some technobabble, and then Picard will say, "Are you saying?" And then he'll restate it in some simpler language.
That's very true.
It's like in every single episode, "Are you saying?" And then it's like a very simple metaphor.
I can almost see him saying that as you say it.
It's usually just a matter of just cycling one power to another conduit or something like that, and that's just the babble. They just change something in the engines or some circuit, and then everything's fine. And I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna go with this. I think that he's the ginger guy. I think that he's going to within the next episode or two just start to disintegrate into a big old mushroom cup. And I'm just really, really excited about what he's going to look like soon.
No, I'm thinking about it.
Who else?
Or maybe it's going to get like.
Who else is weirded out by the clearly the red alert signal from the Star Trek films, like Wrath of Khan onwards, it's the signal that they use for red alert here. I mean, it shouldn't be here. We should just have plain, simple red lights. But then again, we did away with all of TOS. Richard, if you'd like to restate your theory, Stefanie doesn't know about your economic theory about Discovery.
Oh, yeah. It's the reason that, original series technology seems a lot worse than this technology is that what Star Trek Discovery is going to really be about is about some kind of economic downturn that caused the economy to collapse. And all the characters are going to be like losing their savings, and they're going to be angry, and they're going to be like electing crazy people. That's what this is really about.
Yeah.
It's really about the loss of the monopoly on holograms.
Yeah, that might be a big part of it.
I'm excited for the downfall.
Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, Lorca and the USS Buran, how he euthanized his crew. Man, I have a lot more respect for him. And Tyler, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Because, he's kind of a badass. I mean, I don't know what circumstances would actually necessitate only him surviving. Like, that's kind of weird. That's kind of like strains credibility a little bit. But like the fact that he has to live with that, like it totally makes him the Jack Bauer of the Star Trek universe. Like he made a hard choice.
There's still so much we don't know about him. For all we know, it could have been reasons that were selfish. He might have felt like I still have ways to contribute. I can still help us win this. But I will not let my crew fall into their hands and be degraded this way. But yeah, so far he looks like he was never going to be bred for exploration and the kind of stuff that the Federation is all about: unity among species, cooperation, peace, and discovery. He's bred for war.
I think he's a great captain. And what I mean by that is he's interesting. He's interesting in a way that makes him different than Picard, Kirk, the other captains we've seen. He's not like hopelessly naive like Jonathan Archer. He's not quite put together like Janeway was. He's just he's doing his best to make the best of a bad situation.
Oh yeah, there's certainly some differences between him and all that have come before.
Tyler, what'd you like about the episode, man? From an acting kind of viewer narrative standpoint.
Hold on, repeat that one more time.
From as an actor, as a professional actor, and then as a real voracious, pretty shrewd, sharp consumer of fiction in vast quantities. What did you think about the narrative and then the characters?
As far as the narrative as a whole, so far in the show, or this particular episode?
Both.
Hello?
I think we're waiting on the edge of our seats to hear your opinion, Tyler.
Oh my! You all went out, and I thought you went completely out. But no, from a standpoint, there's a lot we have to sort of accept. Like everyone to accept, and everyone who's been a fan of Star Trek to accept the aesthetics, the uniforms, the you could probably explain that Spock never really talks about his siblings as a way of explaining away Sarek's adoption of Burnham. But if we were to completely just forget about all that, all the reservations everyone had before and now after 5 episodes of watching this show, the characters are really what are doing it for me. Every one of them is interesting and well acted. Every one of them is interesting in their own way. One of my favorite additions was Tilly. She was my favorite character from the very beginning. Like, as soon as she's introduced, I was like, I would love to see more of this character. I would watch this character act and grow and, self-actualize for like 10 seasons if that happened. But great performances all around, including the tardigrade. And then the fungus. We'll have to mention the fungus. And the ship itself doing that little spinny thing whenever the spore drive activates.
Oh, I love the spinny thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really cool.
It's like, we're going to spore warp, everybody. That's how you know. We're spinning. But
Actually, I wouldn't call it spore warp. I would call it warp.
Sporp.
Sporp. Warp spore.
Go to warp spore.
Wait, so wouldn't it be sporp? Spore warp? Sporp?
Yeah, spore.
I'm not sure if I've
warp,
said
spore,
this.
spore warp. It's one of them.
Totally, really cool. Like, you know how Picard says engage, or Janeway says let's do it. Well, I like Lorca because he's just go. He like go. Or let's jump. Like go. It's so his personality. Man, I want to watch this episode again now. Suddenly.
Did you see that interview where he said he wanted his captain's motto to be "Get her done," but the writers torpedoed it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have.
I love Jason Isaacs. I would watch him mop a floor. Like, that's how good of an actor he is to me.
Agreed.
Actually, spoiler alert, there is a whole episode where it's just that.
Oh, God. Bring it.
He loses his eyes. And
he's just trying to get back to his roots and just goes into, ensign service again. Just, mopping the outside of the windshield or something. Is there a windshield on this? I'm sure there is. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, between dangerous away missions, you do the windows, Lorca.
I'm really satisfied with this episode. I'm really satisfied with this show. I'm really excited to see what happens in the next, season or so.
Me too. I'm intrigued. I hope there's a spy. I hope Tyler's a spy.
Tyler, you are a spy.
I am reserving judgment.
Yeah, I want to wait till chapter 1 is completely done.
Who else is that Lorca made? Like, I didn't even know you guys we have the right amount of organs for you. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure Klingons don't have special organs. Like,
do we know that?
What's that?
What's that, Richard?
Do we know that?